All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Tuesday. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, Doge down to 15.5 cents. We were up here at 16 and just kind of futzing around with the 16 line, which I thought was going to continue to happen. And instead, together with the markets, again, not just Dogecoin, but everything kind of dropped here late this morning. And now we're 15.5 cent. Dogecoin or Bitcoin was up here at 86,000 and ended up dropping all the way down now into the 83s. So didn't hold 84, now down in the 83. So Bitcoin is down. And so is Doge. So it's not just Dogecoin, guys. Again, the story remains the same. Without any big thing going on right now with crypto, everyone's kind of taking a breather. These are the times when you got to realize, like, what am I going to do here, right? Just going to hold on? Covered that this morning, right? Buy, hold, or sell. What are you doing? Most are just holding on, just kind of let this play out. Because what's going on, right? U.S. recession fears intensifying. Is Bitcoin the real flight to safety? Or is Doge, for that matter? It's like major banks hiking U.S. recession odds, fueling defensive plays and risk-off sentiment. Bitcoin's rise continues amid macroeconomic jitters, but its resilience may be tested. And right now, it's just kind of, Bitcoin's just not holding well. I mean, you zoom out and it's like, Bitcoin's fine, right? On the 4-hour chart, it's like, Bitcoin's fine. This is all we're talking about here. It's just this little bit up here. Bitcoin's fine. And so is Dogecoin. Dogecoin's fine. But when you zoom in, you just see it going down, you're like, But that's why we zoom out as well. So we've got fear of recession. Inflation hasn't been too bad. Those numbers have been coming down. We see those reports. Pretty good. Is the Fed going to lower interest rates? That's still a few weeks away before that next meeting, which we think most likely going to hold steady anyway. But Trump's tariffs will destroy the U.S. economy. Our former Treasury Secretary, don't you miss her? Do you miss her? I don't even know what she did, actually. I have no idea what Janet Yellen actually did. I mean, Scott Bessent is out there as Trump's Treasury Secretary. What did Janet Yellen actually? I don't know. So very easy. Yellen criticized Trump's tariffs as confusing, harmful, warning they could hurt the U.S. economy and global confidence. Okay. Short-term fears for long-term gains, maybe. Meanwhile, we've got BitCat, the BitCat wallet. You can do tokenized gold trading. So if you want a flight to safety, you can buy tokenized gold now. Kind of interesting. Users seek safer on-chain assets amid rising global uncertainty. So you can buy tokenized gold. Now, yesterday we talked about tokenized, what Dogecoin is doing, what House of Doge is doing for tokenizing real world assets on the Dogecoin blockchain. And I'm like, why not tokenize gold as well on Dogecoin? Why don't you do that too? So overall, El Salvador, we were talking about this earlier about Bitcoin, because, and here's what I posted on X. El Salvador has reversed parts of its Bitcoin law, removing Bitcoin's legal tender status. So is Bitcoin no longer really legal tender in El Salvador? I thought that was the whole thing, right? Everybody was going to get Bitcoin wallets. Everybody was going to be unbanked, right? We're all going to use Bitcoin. And now that's not happening anymore. But the country continues to buy Bitcoin. And overall, they are up because they've got $525 million worth of Bitcoin that they bought at using about 287 million. So they're up $237 million or 82% on their overall investment, even though this year, as they've been buying Bitcoin and Bitcoin's price is going down, all the Bitcoin they bought earlier this year, they're in the negative on. But overall, for all their Bitcoin, they are in the green. So are you just going to focus on the narrow, right? You're just going to look at what Doge has done this year, or you can look at a bigger picture of Dogecoin. That's kind of my point here, is that, well, not only that, but what a great opportunity for Dogecoin to assert itself as the true peer-to-peer digital currency. If Bitcoin isn't legal tender anymore in El Salvador, how about Dogecoin, right? How about Dogecoin? So, I mean, you can go to Doge, you can look on the daily chart and you can zoom out and you can say, yeah, it was up here at 48 cents, beginning of December, and it's down since then. But you go to the weekly chart and you're like, this is just one of those things, right? That it's done before and it will do again. And we're just waiting for that next move on Dogecoin because it's going to do it again. And so if you have patience and wait it out, that's how Dogecoin works. How long is that going to be? We don't know, but a lot of good things being built right now for Dogecoin. Whales are accumulating. Is a breakout imminent? Now, we've looked at these whale things before. Ali says, the price is bouncing off an upward trend line, and we get these so-called whale buys, and this like, are they really whale buys, or are these just exchanges moving Doge around? I always question that. Trader Allen is looking at the Wyckoff accumulation, and so the spring line right there, when Dogecoin dropped down to 13 cents, could be that spring of phase C in the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. And that we've gone through the LPS and we are now ready for this next move up. If you're following along with the Wyckoff accumulation, which will send Dogecoin up over 20 cents for Doge. So can Dogecoin explode from here? That's the question, right? Is Doge going to explode from here? Chart signals show big move brewing. Yes, we've had a 4-month-long decline in Dogecoin. Is this a buy the dip opportunity? Technical indicators are flashing early recovery signs. So you can either just complain about the price of Doge, or you can do something about it, right? You can just do something about it. Buy, sell, or hold. So Dogecoin poised for a big week here. Is this the big week we've been waiting for Doge? Right here, mid-April, 4 years ago, 2021, this is the time when Dogecoin woke up and started going crazy. Could we have something like that happen again? Meanwhile, we've got this whole mantra thing, this OM token, and This is always a risk in cryptocurrency, right? Particularly if you're buying tokens, right? Tokens, where 90% of the tokens are all controlled still by the team and the devs. You never know what can happen. I know CoffeeZilla had a video earlier today. He talked to the president CEO. Was this a market maker thing? It's still all kind of unclear, but it's like, why would you buy into something like that? Now, some of you I know are trying to like maybe buy on the dip on OM and think that this thing's going to turn around. But that is a big drop. Actually, it's kind of right back where it was last summer before this crazy run up. So was that run up that Mantra had, was that all artificial so that somebody could make hundreds of millions of dollars? That's kind of what that's looking like. It's kind of what that's looking like. But at 82 cents, you zoom in and you're like, wait, someone's trying to buy and maybe bring this thing back up. So early this morning, there was some big buying on this because it was down in the 50s, brought it up to the 90s. Now it's at 81 cents. I'm not touching this thing, but maybe some of you guys are gamblers and you're risking trying to buy some of this. I don't know. But overall, when you hear about all this uncertainty, it just gives crypto a bad name still. So that's not good for Doge. And then you've got ZK. ZK Sync reports $5 million of ZK tokens were stolen, where ZK's price drops 20%. 1.7 million tokens bridged over to ETH. And from there, who knows where it's going to go? That's not good. Now, they say this was leftover tokens from an airdrop wallet. These were the ones that were left over. Somehow, someone got into that and was able to extract all those remaining tokens. But that's not good. Dogecoin will never do this. Dogecoin won't do this. And then finally, it is April 15th. We mentioned this yesterday. Tax filing. If you're tax filing, don't cheat, don't lie. Don't think you're going to be smart and get away with stuff because it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. And this guy had $12 million in CryptoPunk NFT sales, and he didn't claim any of it. He didn't claim any of it. And now 4 years later, he now faces 6 years in prison. Not good. Plus paying the $3 million in taxes or whatever. He's got to do that too. So yeah, be careful out there. That's all I say. Is just be careful out there. So we'll watch Doge here while we're chatting, see what's on your mind. But I will put in a poll here. Like I said, I would. What are you doing with Dogecoin? Buy? Hold? So, yeah, we'll see where you guys stand on that. A little poll, just because I did that in my video this morning, was buy, hold, or sell. But thought, yeah, during the live stream, we'll have a little poll, see where people are thinking. Paranormal's in the house. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. We need a Doge crazy move. Maybe. We'll see. What are they doing on Coinbase? I don't know what you mean, Louis. What's happening on Coinbase? Coinbase is fine by me. I know there's some SEC thing that SEC is closing whatever investigation they were doing against Coinbase. That's a good thing. Yeah, Linda, if tariffs are so bad, why do all these other countries putting tariffs on the US if tariffs are so bad? It's just that since we haven't been imposing them on other countries, we've essentially leveled like the prices we pay for things that come in from overseas. And now that price is going to go up. It probably always should have been up, is my thing. But it's like, it's just the reaction. That's all it is. Just the reaction. Like and share, everybody. Thank you, Ramses, for a reminder. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Just see how you guys are thinking right now. The Doge emojis are for those who are members. So if you are a member, you can put in all these great Doge emojis along with a bunch of other fun ones that we have. So I'll just throw a bunch in there so you can see. Just a bunch of them that we have. So if you're a member of the channel, you have access to a bunch of different emojis you can throw in there. Just for the fun of it, just because we can. Easy to hold when you're in the green. True test of holding is when it's deep in the red. True. You know, what is this word sell you speak of? DB picked up some Doge, 15.5. Got some diamond hands. Evening compo. All eyes on Doge. When are we going to see 40-cent Doge again? Going to be a little while. Going to be a little while. Not ready to have that big move yet. Christoph, hey. Good vibes, positivity, always good. That's the Doge way. Kingzano, the deep is getting too deep. Actually, you know, we're not at 13 cents. We're at 15 cents. So, not too bad. I know it's down a lot from December. I get that, but the whole market is down. Once that Trump token came out and then all the tariff talk, again, it's short-term volatility caused by the tariff fears, recession fears, all of that has the whole market down. It's all down. Manipulation as well. Yes, that's true. The shorters have been making money. Meanwhile, the market makers are taking out leverage long because as the price kept going down and down and down, more and more long leverage trades were being made. Every time there was a little uptick, it's like, okay, this is the time it's going to go up. I'm going to do a leverage trade. And then they dump it lower to liquidate the leverage trades. 420, that's going to be Sunday, SP. I'll be live on Sunday on 420, Doge Day. Yes, it'll be Doge Day. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun on Sunday for Doge Day. Look forward to it. KB has some buy order set just in case we get some deeper dips. Coinbase are making people transfer funds by the 30th. I have not heard this. I have not heard this. Let's see. Coinbase transfer funds. Nope. There's some tokens that are going to be delisted. There's something about that, but I don't see anything about that happening. Nope. It says it on your app. You can email me to chriscrypto@gmail.com. You can email me a screenshot, sure. On the Coinbase app, I've got a Coinbase app. I haven't logged in a while. I don't usually use the app. It's thinking. It's thinking. Log in, log in. I'm going to see if I get that same message. Why is it asking for a password? Two-factor authentication. This is the boring part, right? I don't know why it just doesn't. I don't know why it just doesn't go in. Yeah, forget it. We'll see. Yeah, I didn't get your email. Anyway, we'll see what Coinbase is saying. Should have had a no more money to buy choice in the poll. Yeah. I buy Doge and then I pray and then I buy more. Oz still sitting on a 26-cent average, but chilling. Buying and holding all the way to 25 cents after this crazy ride in the market. You know, El Campo, I don't hear anything going on with either SWI or Link that's any different than any other crypto. So they're just going to keep following the market. Really, that's all it is. They're just going to follow the market. You're going to see these red candles here that we have at 10:15 this morning. You're going to see them on here's Link. Yep, same thing. So just following the market, all the same. Not expecting anything different. Matt is stocked up on Dogecoin. Hey, Stephen. Good day today. Again, busy. Always busy during the week. And B always wants more Doge. Paranormal, you've been buying dividend stocks. Going for that passive income on those dividends. At this time, that's probably not a bad strategy. There was somebody else who was talking about doing that last week. Was asking about big dividend stocks. Remember, Andre Jick used to do all of those videos about that until he got roped into crypto. And then that was it. I guess he still does it. He still has a big portfolio of that, but he started chasing crypto after that. Holding while you're in the red is better than selling for a loss. Thank you, New World. Appreciate it. Teodoro, Kryptonite hands. Holding for 4 years and still going strong. Still going strong. You can ask a stock question, sure. Kronos can ask a stock question. Yeah, I didn't get your email, Luis. It's Kriss Crypto. That's KrissKrypto. Kriss Crypto with K's, not C's. Yeah, Adam doesn't see anything on his Coinbase app. So I don't know what you see, Louis. Yeah, it's probably a delisting thing. That's my guess. Is you probably have some degen coin that they're going to get delisted. It says Louis has to transfer his funds to Harry's account. New to it all. Loss of 4K, was going to wait till today to sell so that I could carry that loss over to next year's taxes. No, that's December 31st is the carryover. It's not April 15th. Buying Pepsi, really? Buying Pepsi? I don't hear anyone ever buying Pepsi. Do we know how that 21 Doge thing is going? So, it's 21 shares, right? And 21 shares has applied for a Dogecoin ETF. So it's 21 shares Dogecoin ETF. This is what it is. So yeah, not 21 Doge, I guess you shortened it a little bit. But 21 shares Dogecoin ETF has been applied to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. So them, along with Bitwise, Grayscale, and Rex Osprey, all have Dogecoin ETF applications in. We'll see where that goes from here. But 21 Shares has also launched a Dogecoin ETP in Europe. And then the other day, someone said they were in Sweden and they bought some of that. So you can buy it. So that is all happening with 21 Shares. You pay taxes on dividends. Yes. Soon no tax on crypto? We hope. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Yeah, you can send me an email with the question, sure. But if it's about some carryover loss thing, April 15th is not the day to do it. It's December 31st. December 31st. Will we dip into the 14s again? You tell me. Is Bitcoin going to drop below 80K or something like that? Because that's what's happening. It's not. Dogecoin by itself is not going to drop into the 14s. But if the rest of the crypto market goes down, like Bitcoin, down to 80K, 79K, then yeah, we'll see Doge in the 14s. But Doge isn't going to drop down there by itself. You have Solana, Doge, Pengu, Bitcoin, and Mudeng. I don't know what Coinbase might be delisting, but that would be my guess. It's a delisting thing. That's my guess. Let's see what Coinbase says about this. Yeah, they're not talking about. Yeah, April 30th. So token delistings, Coinbase, April 30th. So if you have MPL, Render, that's the old RNDR. Ribbon, Matic. They don't have dates on those yet. So it looks like it's only April 30th. The only one is MPL. That's the only one. So maybe it was just a note about that, MPL. Because that's when April 30th comes up, is for that. You say you don't have any of that, then I don't know why you're getting that message. Because no one else seems to be. Yeah, never believe anything that a president promises. Sure. A lot of stuff won't happen. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, that ETF, Doge ETF stuff, end of summer, probably fall. That's the timeline I've said right from the start. And so we just have to wait for that. We have no idea, what no taxes would mean. We have no idea whether it would be this year or not. Yeah, the dividend investing, Matt, if you're only investing a little bit of money, you're not getting much in those dividends. You're getting pennies, right? It's just over time, right? That starts adding up. And of course, the more you invest, obviously, the more dividends you're going to get, plus whatever gains the stock makes. Not as volatile as crypto, obviously, but it is a form of long-term investing. A lot safer than crypto. So the tax on crypto in the United States is either a long-term or short-term capital gains tax. So it's the difference between short-term paying like a 30 to 35% tax, short-term holding less than a year, or long-term like 15 to 20%. Again, that's between your federal and your state. So that's a big difference. And that's why I had always been talking about wanting to hold crypto for at least a year just to save that money on taxes. Hey, Ina, how are you? Zano, I'm in favor of tariffs to be the same as the tariffs that are being applied on our products going to that country. I'm in favor of that. So if China's charging us 20% tariff, we should have a 20% tariff on China goods. That I believe in. Now, the game Trump is playing is way beyond that. But again, I've always been saying that's more for negotiating than anything else. Yeah, paranormal. It takes larger investments to get thousands back. Slowly build up your shares, reinvest. Agreed. No, it's all eyes on dividend stocks, MB. We're talking dividend stocks now. All eyes on dividend stocks. Oh, not Moodang. Oh no. Yeah, 4 Dogecoin ETFs are now in consideration, Carol. Which Bitcoin ETF do you like most? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to buy it anyway. I buy the real Bitcoin. So if you have an opportunity to buy the real crypto, buy that. Don't buy the ETF because you pay fees on the ETF. No fee on the buying Bitcoin. You just buy Bitcoin. Oh, but see, they're playing this stupid game, right? Where Trump is saying, oh, Xi has to call me. I'm not calling him. So there's always that game going on, right? It's like you and your girlfriend, right? It's just like, oh, I'm not going to call her. I'm going to wait for her to call me. Kyle, buying UPS stock with your dividend, racking up those dividends. Nice. Hi, Donnie. How are you? New to the channel, crypto in general, really enjoying. Best advice for a beginner? Don't sweat the little stuff. Best advice. The little ups and downs that happen, zoom out, look at the bigger picture. That's the best advice. Always zoom out and look at the bigger picture because there's much more going on. And when I zoom out on Doge and I go all the way back to 2021 and you see what Doge did then, you know that this downfall that we've had from December, eventually Doge is going to go up again like it has every time. It's going to happen again. So ride it out. If you believe in Dogecoin and what it is and what it can do, you see big red candles happening, that's not the time to sell. That's the time to buy. You buy on the dips. Not financial advice. $60 to 70% of crypto holders haven't paid tax. Interesting percentage there. Well, I wouldn't take that chance. And I'm not taking that chance. IRS can catch up to you. You think Trump bit off more than he can chew? I don't. I think he was ready for this. He's prepared for it. All eyes on Pepsi. Yeah, let's all buy some Pepsi stock. It would seem that China needs us more, but we do rely a little too heavily on certain things from China. And it'll take a long time to unwind that. So this is a painful game. 125% versus 145%. It's bad both ways. It's bad both ways. And we'll see what the ripple effect is and what's really getting hurt the most when you really need to get something and the only way to get it is to buy a Chinese product and there's 125% tariff on it. Doug says, patience. Patience is always good. When in doubt, zoom out. That's what I say. You're an SCHD dividend guy, but it's all in my Roth for the long term. Not bad. What? You know, the Dogecoin white paper t-shirt. That's a good question. I made it. I uploaded it, and it said it was under review. It might still be under review, which means they're not doing anything about it. No, it's not here. It would show up right at the top. Not here. I'll have to check and see whether it's been denied for some kind of copyright thing or something. I'll have to check that. But it would show up as the first product. The newer ones would be first. I will check. Sly lie. Right now, there is a sale going on. Speaking of my merch store, 20% off everything. 20% off. You want some Doge merch? 20% off. PexCat wants some. Pretty cool stuff. Got t-shirts, tote bags, hats, got onesies for the little babies. Got a little baby in your family. 20% off. Just at the top, when you get on the page at the top, just hit that redeem button right there for 20% off. And then whatever you put into your cart will be 20% off. So check out the link in the description below to my KrissPax Dogecoin merch store. Coffee mug, want Dogecoin logo on a coffee mug, got one of those. Have some other fun things, little conspiracy theory, little diagrams, but a lot of Doge stuff. Yeah, a couple Bitcoin logos if you really need to have a Bitcoin logo. Got a couple of those. So check out the merch store. 20% off the next 3 days in my merch store. So check that out. And look at that. We're getting green candle coming back. Little recovery happening while Kriss is live. You're interested to know how much of my portfolio is in crypto? People say never buy what you can't afford. How risky is me? Well, if you had asked me 6 months ago, it would have been 90%, but then I sold most of it to buy a house. So now I've converted that to real estate, and now I am in real estate for that. What I have left is probably, because I sold stocks too. I sold all my Tesla stock. I have no idea what my percentage is right now, crypto to stocks. If you're just looking at my portfolio, crypto and stock portfolio, it's probably still like 75, 80% crypto. because I sold a lot of stocks too to buy the house. So yeah, I think it's still more on crypto. I think we're still in a bull market overall. This has been a tough reaction we've had over the past 4 months to all of these tariffs. So glad I took profit in January when I did to buy the house, because everything would be much lower now if I'd held all that. But I'm still waiting for the next big move, which I've been saying we could have some little moves here the rest of April and May, but I think the big one's going to be this fall. And I'm still sticking to that. Weirdos, I don't know what you're saying, but I don't have 80% of products in my house made in China. No. Depends on what you're buying. Takoa says, I like sales. You just bought some more Doge, so you think the price is going to go down tomorrow. I think Oz is closer, that we do kind of rely on each other for different impacts. And it's not like China doesn't buy anything from the US. China does. And they rely on us on some things. Going from a short-term to a long-term capital gains, I mean, that's like a 20%. It's 20% of your profits difference. So that's a lot. That is a lot. Oh, Kronos, you're going to ask me again. If you have 420 shares of a stock, you're at a loss of 4K. Lost shares to reverse split down to 3 shares. Got hit again. Oh, man, there was a reverse split. I don't know. I'll have to look at your overall question, Kronos. Nick, you want to get a hat? You can just come right up here to accessories, and you can click on caps and hats. And there you go. There's all my hats. And there's choices of different colors for each hat. Lots of good hats. So there you can look at all the hats. A lot of new folks coming in. Yeah, there's always new people. And there's some other people who kind of drift away. That happens. I should do a live stream where I'm just selling everything. Flush the haters out. Devlin DeFrancisco, he did a race in Long Beach. He placed 26th out of 27 cars. Ooh, that's not good. Would have been cool if he already had the Doge wrap. Yeah, saving it for the Indy 500. But yeah, he's not a top driver. That we know. Not a top driver. Hey, Jay, how are you? Ryan, finish your taxes? I put mine in the mail. I actually went to the post office yesterday on the 14th. It was a nice sunny day. I was just like, Supposed to rain a little on Tuesday. I think I'll go on Monday because I had it all done. Went to the post office, paid my taxes because I made money in 2024. I was doing, remember all that stock swing trading I was doing with DJT stock and MicroStrategy, Robinhood? I was making a lot of money. Well, I had to pay taxes on that swing trading I did. And the Doge that I sold in December, remember 42 cents? I sold some Doge. I had to pay tax on that too. Anything exciting going on? It's still House of Doge and what they're building. That's kind of the biggest news. But for the most part, Doge is just following the market right now. It's following the market. Yeah, at least he didn't crash. That's right, Bruce. At least he didn't crash. But he didn't have Dogecoin on his car. So on May 25th, he'll have Doge on his car. Doge will be on his side. And then we'll see. Hey, John, how are you? When you actually sell instead of pumping. Maybe it was best he didn't have the Doge wrap. Exactly. Yeah, I can't go through all of your messages, Kronos. I really can't. I can't do that live. So send it all in an email and I'll look at it. But it sounds like you got into something, it did a reverse split, and you don't know what it means. So I can take a look at it if you email me correctly. But I got a Coinbase transfer email, but there's no attachment sent using the mail.com mail app. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I have a lot of protections on my email because I get so much spam and people just throwing stuff at me. It's like I don't click on things. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that. Anything can happen in the Indy 500. But if you're not a top driver, you're not one of the top teams, the chances of you actually winning, very slim. Struck a chord? I don't know. Okay, you know what reverse split is. Okay. Again, you were doing something about trying to do carryover taxes on April 15th, and that's not the date that anything matters. Okay. It's just hard during a live stream for you to ask a long question. Okay, it's not that great. All right. Good luck. Good luck. What else going on, guys? We talked about Mantra and OM, the big drop on Sunday. Market makers seem to have been behind it. CoffeeZilla had an interview with the president of Mantra, the CEO, whatever. He didn't seem to be answering the questions quite right. So he either doesn't know or he's hiding something. Hard to say. It's crypto, though. And between that and ZK Sync having $5 million of ZK tokens, stolen, not good. This is all just not good for crypto. It's it's time to clean all this crap up, you know? Clean all this crap up. Can I give you a good stock for immediate big gains? Yeah, DJT, buy the Trump stock. No, that was last fall. That was the time to play that game. Not now. Absolutely not now. My busy season next 5 weeks. Won't be on many lives. All right, DW. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, see, Bitcoin's going down too, now at 83.9. So for those of you who are upset about Dogecoins, it's just look what Bitcoin's doing. It's dropping down. It's hard for Dogecoin to be in the green when Bitcoin's in the red and going down. Doge can't overcome that. So that's what we've got right now. ETH just dropped below 1,600 again. Solana dropped below 130, now down to 127. Cardano back down to 61 cents. Even Litecoin back down to $75. So it's all going down right now. And I think it's just overall weakness in the market, fear of, recession and, Trump tariffs, like all of that stuff is still weighing on the markets. So all of that just still going on. So we'll see where we end up tomorrow, but that's what we got for today, guys. That's what's going on. So 15.5 cents. We'll see how Doge trades overnight, whether it comes back. Yeah, the stock market too, Bruce, is when the stock market is down, we do kind of end up with crypto following it as well. There is still this correlation between the crypto market and the stock market going on. So, all right. Hey, I hope everyone has a great evening, and we'll be live again tomorrow. We'll check in on everything going on then. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.